about. Something you know better if I do myself. So that's how I start my role in terms of giving advisory, find ideas how to mitigate risk and control. No, that's what's all about, mitigating risk and control, so that your business achieve what you want to do, make more money, make delivery, e-commerce, whatever you do, always think about business objective, always think about bottom line. So wherever you see the box, the product, right, it's a control to me. From an architect standpoint, this is how we do to protect the business, right? So my message today is about what we do. Okay? We envision, okay? We vision the things that how we're going to protect our business better, right? So we need to know what's the running component within our IT shops, our IT component, to see what is lacking, what is not, so that we can do. So you see my colleague talk about RMIT, talking about finding gaps. What else we can protect? Be it people, be it process. Sometimes they need to you declare more. That's why you come up with a checklist, methodology, annual declaration, so that you keep up to mark, you know, what you're supposed to fix. But who will address, understand better this requirement other than architects, right? Talk to your architects, talk to your guy who designs system for you, so that they can translate 147, 44 control requirement, because that, from architect standpoint, you're building codes, right? You want the moment to fail with that, your house or whatever you do to your business is at risk. Now imagine this guy architect, what is pondering? Whether have he done enough designing? No, whether the roof is okay, no, people can attack. Because we are the architects. May I get a show of hands? How many the red team, blue team here? Red team, blue team, Clientele, yellow team, purple team. Okay, I'm the yellow team, the architect. Okay, all right. Okay, so you're not sure, tak apa. Nanti RawSec can have a bash. At least you know. At the end of the day, you need to become white or whatever color. Not the racist kind of thing, but you are a blend of the whole capability. Right? This is how architects speak, right? Right. So people talk about vision, and architect also talking about aligning the purpose. Wherever you do, sometimes you're not meeting the purpose. If you want to buy your firewall, your Clientele, your cyber range lab, your business with us, so what? Right? What all these things that you want to buy can help me improve my business, right? So you have tough time to justify your funding. So talk to your architect. They will help you to justify your fund, so that they can build something that fit for purpose. We don't buy firewall or IPS, but always on learning mode, right? Okay. I want to let the system stabilize for 6 months. From 6 months become 1 year. 1 year become 10 years, no? Why? Because nobody knows how your application behave. You don't dare to enable it, right? So you got problem there. We're talking about design, okay? Hackers can hack because of poor design. Then you give a ton of security finding, go and fix it, right? Then your developer said, sorry, our vendor already no longer in this business, we cannot fix your program, right? So the idea of design here, we're talking about improving the security right from the start, so that you can reduce those, what we call it, retrofitting, cost to rebuild, refix, because you know to rebuild an application is very, very expensive, right? So we're talking about the idea of secure by design principle. The moment you want to design something, e-commerce, logistics, drone, IoT, a new ATM machine, Maybank to you like internet banking. I was one of the guys when the bank introduced those Maybank to you at that time. Okay, so we reviewed the key management. So I was in that team before in 1999, right? So we're talking about secure by design principle. The moment you want to introduce a system, must be secured the moment you launch it, not after you've been hacked. Okay, right? And being an architect, we're talking about balancing risk, control, and cost. Because business always have limited fund to do, and you cannot ask the sky, unless you're from central bank maybe, okay? Because maybe we print money, right? So we're talking about you have a risk and control and money. Always challenge. Security product these days, not cheap. Our salary is not cheap today, okay? We're in a great demand now. So start to think your next move. Okay, this is what it's all about. I think our chairperson said talk about networking, but it's not about that. It's about value that you bring as well. Okay, the moment I interview my team, what value you bring, what skill set, what skill you want to complement my team. Part architect, we need to see all this, right? And of course, last but not least, architect talking about pattern, standards, standardization, right? We don't want to have multiple brand that we manage so that ecosystem is streamlined and all that. So this typically, you can Google what's a role architect, right? But you can see the common denominator of those definition talking about all these elements. This is what I feel, no? What I've been doing for the past, I think, as an architect role for, I think, 12 to 11 years, something like that. All right, so next slide. All right, so the concern, the challenges that you may face, I think you'll be receiving this from your colleague. Sometimes we say that security is not adequately aligned with business. You buy something that not meeting the business. Your requirement is not consistent with other people, right? with the requirement. Security control not updated. You need to have a tech refresh. Okay, your OS system is not updated and all that. You will receive all these issues. Okay, so architect will understand this. They try to what we call it, to address those gaps so that they can protect the business better. Right. So next slide. All right. So this typical diagram how architect look things. Besides architecting a solution, we also architect the security function itself. Okay. So the reason that you are here because somebody said that I need a threat intel team, I need SOC team, I need somebody who manage security awareness, I need somebody who need to provide advisory to the system, to solution to project team, because they have a vision. Even the RawSec itself have a vision to create a talent pool. Okay, they want to address the shortfall or shortage of talent pool. That itself a vision, right? Then from concept they go to the lower level design until the system is implemented. Right, next slide. So what is architect jobs? In principle, you could be doing one of this role. You could be doing small little activity that also is sound like architect role. Not necessarily you must have architect designation in order to do architect, depending on how big your organization is. Right? But some bigger organization, they tend to have a streamlining of jobs so that they are more focused in whatever thing that they do, so that they can address their requirement from respective stakeholders. Right. So first we're talking about architecting a security function itself. You're talking about RMIT just now, talking about have a CISO role, must have program, people to run, capability and all that, SOC, threat intel, intelligence lab, some of the keywords they mentioned. Right. So we're also talking about having a governance compliance, talking about risk management within the cybersecurity, talking about security awareness. So there could be a people there, right, to run the function, people or functions. Yeah. And to further, what you call it, split the role of architect, we could have a data protection architect who dealing with data at rest, data emotions, EDLPs, hard disk encryptions and all that. So these people sometimes they could call the data protection architect. Some side they call it the engineering team, security engineering team that play all these security tools and technologies. So actually you can see the role that what you're doing, especially from this perspective as well. Some people they involved in application security, right? Those people who are doing the secure coding, right? Secure coding, they review the code to a certain extent. They also do the application pen test or application security, secure code reviews. And they also be providing security requirements and how to, what you call it, to ensure the data transfers from one point to another is secure. We're talking about TLS, we're talking about clear session cookies and all that. And these people are primarily doing the application security control. Of course, they have a different skill set altogether, but the bottom line is that they must be conversant enough in various coding language so that they can code securely. Next role, we call it infrastructure architect. This typically talking about those infrastructure component like IPS, network, firewall, storage, and all that. But they must be conversant enough to determine what are the security element, okay, within those component, because these are element of securities that define your defend in depth strategy. You need to know all these layers in the end of the day, because when you talk about defend in depth, you talk about people, device, network, servers, hostings, and all that. Then lastly, data. So this is a typical view architect normally where we need to protect. Okay, so depend where your role right now. Okay, depend you right now. You can imagine the next progression that you want to do in your cybersecurity role. Okay, because I guess you not be doing threat intel all the time. You not be doing SOCs all the time. Maybe at a certain point in time, you want to design your own SOC. You want to take duties or challenge to develop your own SOC, or to provide service to develop SOCs to other people. Okay, to architect a threat intel capability. Just imagine some RMIT said, please do threat intel. Then there's how to do. I think you ask some question. You have guideline how to do threat intel, how to do intelligence lab. That is our architecting question. Talking about component, talking about people, process, technology behind it. That is one architect role also, to see whether how I can fulfill that intelligent led objectives. Okay, right. So next slide. So yes, RMIT is something that architect eats every day. I mean, I'm referring to your artifacts, your documents and whatnot. These are the codes to the building blocks, to secure building blocks. Okay, so you need to respect all these documents so that you know where to refer to whenever you have challenges in terms of what to design. If you have issues, where non-compliance, these are your references, that you need to make to refer to. So we're talking about your own technology policies. Sometimes you need to also read your transformation documents, right? I think some of our colleague here, your organization could be in the transformation state somewhere, maybe doing some little transformations. So what's security impact of those transformations, right? So we're talking about risk management framework, talking about balancing act. You need to be conversant in the risk management framework. Internal control framework. Okay, some control, I think you could be hearing from your auditors talking about detect, protect, correct, right? And NIST model also along that line. So you need to know the internal control framework. And to be an architect also, you need to know about business a little bit, right? Business function, so that you know where to protect your data. Just now our colleague talking about using credit cards over internet, suddenly he didn't get the token code to authenticate. Right, so first you need to know the business model first. If you're doing e-commerce, if you're doing logistics, if you're doing banking and business, right, you need to understand. I was working for the MNC, where I'm advising on the property development, plantation, healthcare, right? So we can see various business model, various security technologies that we have to deploy to protect their various information assets. Right, so you also be dealing with a business partner framework. We're talking about PCI, Visa, or SWIFT. They have their own set of rules so that you can use their brands. Right, so they have a list of requirements. But in essence, bottom line, there could be some reference document that align all this to make it our life easier. So one of the architect role is to see how this harmonize. Just imagine the Azure, AWS, whatnot. Just imagine they've been audited or been reviewed by various compliance model. So they need to find balance and look for commonalities, standardization, where one thing can address multiple compliance model. We're talking about PDPA, we're talking about GDPR. This is another set of compliance stacks that you have to follow, you have to comply. If you are doing the manufacturing, you have a industrial control system, set of control, how you control IoTs. And also about, next we're talking about the certification. So we have SAPSA and TOGAF for you to venture into as well. So these are the few keywords that you see being an architect day to day. When you design, you're being hitting most or almost all of these so-called keywords that I described just now. So next slide. So next, how you want to be an architect? Right, you can start anywhere basically. Okay, if you feel that you're enough doing a SOC function, you're enough doing a threat intel, right? You feel like want to build something. Okay, that's a good moment lah for you to reflect tonight. Reflect tonight over the weekend. What's next for me? Okay, I've been doing cybersecurity, for example, for 5 years. So what's next in cybersecurity field I want to venture into? Oh yes, Thahrizi, question.
What is the basic salary? Even though we can hack your salary.
Yeah, you can have my salary.
What is the basic salary of in Malaysia? Normal industry prices.
Normal industry. First, number one, depend where you're working with. Alright. So in a large financial, because where they have your specialization, right? Where you can earn between 10 to above 10, 15, okay? Because you talk business lingo, you talk technical lingo, and you talk to IT people. And of course, this is a skill set we're talking about. Because to be architect, you need to be influencing, you need to be able to convey your idea, to convince, you must do this. If you ask a SOC or incident response team, go and convince people, I don't think they go and convince, they go and whack you, right? You go architect try to be, diplomacy, try to influence the ideas. So that's another skill set that maybe I would say, like our chairman said just now, a challenge to some technical people, because they seldom interact with people. They interact with machines, binaries, and all that a lot. But it's not stopping, depend on how you deal actually, okay? Yeah, I used to be introvert also, right? But after a while, like our colleague also mentioned, the moment you have some knowledge and some idea you to convince, there you go, right? So, go back to your question. Later I have some slides somewhere, but not about salary, about skill set, about your experience. Because architect to certain function, you're top of the tree lah. After architect, you can be CISO actually. That's the certain experience, because you need to talk business lingo already. But before that, you have a series of paths that you have to go through, series of experience. So by the time you can earn quite handsomely lah. Okay. Yes.
I'm not sure lah. My boss used to say this about architect. He said architect is a bunch of kids playing with Lego at workplace. Is it correct or not?
Bunch of kids play Legos.
At workplace. He said that. Wow.
Depends, because normally architects not the real developer yet. They listen to requirements, right? So that's my perspective lah. But if I were asked to improve my security posture, then I play Lego, right? How am I architect my security function? Then I need to imagine what pillars of security function I need to have. Yeah. Rearrange the thing, how you want to do. Do I need to have a good balance between threat intel, SOC, architect? If you have a software, if you are in the software development house, and then you are architecting solution, perhaps you need a good architect that you can talk to business people, understand their requirements and all that. Depending, are you a consulting firm, are you an end user part? It depends. Yeah. Of course, architects sometimes they talk lingo, something like that, ideation, yeah, something like that. Okay, but you must be practical, align the business. Some architect, they stay on the innovation stage, right? So the skill set that you need in order to be an architect, this is what I come out with, based on some experience that I gone through also. So you have a base knowledge. You can start from network engineer, you can start from IPS administrator, firewall administrator, okay? But depend what you want to progress in your career, depends. Like myself, I start from somebody who curious about something happening behind the teller and frontier machines from business perspective. That's how I started. Then I took the job all the way up. So basically, these are the component, right? You may need to know some network security devices, security technologies, firewall, IPS, how it works, the APT, the sandbox. is still what we call it. You need to know that, right? So that you can talk to business better. Because business do not understand your technology that you're using. You need to talk business lingo. That always a challenge to IT people, to talk business lingo. Right. Then you also need to know those new stuff, new technology, talking about cloud, talking about DevSecOps and all that. That also require architecture, security architecture understanding, so that you can know how to protect, how to position your security framework, security technology, security processes. Okay, don't forget soft skill. Being architect is important, right? Depend where you start. Okay, depend. Sometimes you have I interview some people, even the entry level, they have some skill set to be architects already, because they have the skill set, the trait that we're looking at. So depend. You can start anywhere basically. Right. So you have a standard certification they have to follow, CISM, CISP and all that, and TOGAF, product specific, so that you can, these are a good blend to be an architect. Your experience, you may start as an analyst, 5 years and below. You can be doing various security jobs first before you start to stream to various specializations. So next slide. Yes. Yes.
What do you think, if let's say I'm just a fresh grad after before something, as a fresh grad, what do you think? Is it good for me to join a big company that can that have a specialized job function or role, or join a small company where you have to do everything, even bunch of table you have to do? So, what is your preference? Your preference.
Okay.
If I want to have a career something like this.
Okay. Number one, my piece of advice: be humble to learn things. Number one, always when you're humble, things come. So my quick advice to that, I like to share my experience. Maybe different from other our fellow professionals here. You start with the understanding business, and depend where you are. For example, I start as a banking. I start in a branch. I start branch, not an office. Okay, so I understand the system. Curiosity. Then I move to head office. So my journey, I started as a IT auditors. IT auditors, I audit the whole thing. Within 1 year, I understand network, how system works in and out, where the loophole, where the weaknesses, so that I can give recommendation. Right. So depend. If you start at the firewall, sometimes you just know firewall. You need to know journey to complete your ecosystem. Right. Today, 1 year you do firewall, next you do IPS, WAF, whatnot. Then maybe next you want to do the security technology in terms of DLP, whatnot, right? Then it becomes that one on security administration stream. What about the consulting, project management? Okay, understanding your customers' need. If business people want to venture e-commerce, what I need to do to secure my business? That kind of question that you have to start asking, right? So then you become senior analyst and so on. Next slide. I got chart for that actually. All right. So these are your journey, your career path. Your career path. I think most of us either here, no? Okay, depend where you want to go. Who want to be CISO? It's a top lonely tree, a lot of wind, sometimes turbulence. Most of the time. If you easily got vomit, got sickness, think twice lah. Okay, right. So depend where you start. Like I said here, the first entry level, you can be security analyst. You can be doing all this. Similar like business. Before you decide to be an accountant or whatnot, you could be doing a lot of things. Then you find love in certain, no? Maybe you find love also at that field, that you work at that field also. And the story, right? So it depends. Your SOC, sometimes the role could be very specific, very specialized, difficult for you to move around. So that's a caveat you have to consider, right? But it doesn't stop you actually. Okay, you can always venture out depending on either you change your organization, whatnot. Okay, right. So you can start analyst 2-3 years, then you can specialize into normally SOCs and threat intel come together. This and application administrator and governance come together normally, depend on how big, how small your organization is. Okay. Then you can go up. Right. Okay, so hopefully this serves as some guide. Okay. okay, that I compile from my reading, from my experience as well.
Superior pay better.
The horizontal pay better. Okay, so threat intel, if you're good in the dark web, you pay better. No lah. Okay, so basically, I think these days security pay better, right? With the recent hack attacks, whatnot, you need to imagine people like to transform. Either hire more people, they start relook their strategy. So that's where the value come. If you're an architect, that's the value come. So normally, after incident, people like to re-op the whole thing, reposition, do the gap analysis, put more money. They bring more people. That's architect role basically. Okay, transformation, whatnot. Depend how you position. Okay, so you cannot ask a threat analyst to architect the whole thing, right? No. Okay, no. Because nanti jadi skewed to threat intel. Okay, fit for purpose meaning you must have 4 wheels, right? For a car to fit, unless you design 3-wheel car lah, right? I do not know. Okay, but generally, all cars have 4 wheels. Generally, right? Either as capability-wise or people-wise, different. As long as this function exists in your security outfit today, right? Okay, next slide. I think this one. So normally, before you engage auditors, before you, there is another slide actually. Tak ada slide itu. Yang ada. Apa dia? Tak ada. Okay, tak apa. Right. So normally during part you engage as an architect, you spend a lot of time understanding the business need. So either you architect for a security solution, or you're part of the security team that involve the security solution development. You need to understand business, how the data move, what user that you want to be using your system, and what are the codes standard that you must ensure they comply with. Then we do the assessment to determine any gaps in the design. Okay, that's why we use threat modeling to see whether it's easily hacked, whatnot, whether password field encrypted or not. Okay, and then we design the control. Control here you can have primary and mitigation. That control could be at infra level, data protection level, or app security, or even business process control. Right. Yes.
Security baseline is proposed by the architect or by the security guys?
Security baseline, normally we work together with the what we want to protect. For example, we're talking about routers, right? We're talking about switches. They have security baseline. BU. So we discuss together to see what the right configuration to adopt as a standard. Yeah.
So that proposal, the baseline must be approved by the architect or what?
Proposal, yes. In certain outfit, it's not architect person. It will be a committee. For example, yes, network guy agreed this is the right configuration that fulfill our current needs. For example, our business model. Then architect agrees. It's a committee. It's committee from depend on how big your organization is. If your organization have a technical architecture team, then we put this proposal to the table. We present to the committee for endorsement. Of course, when it comes to security values, security related parameters, security must give advice also whether this value is meeting whatever standards that we are supposed to meet. For example, we're talking about TLS, whatnot, right? We're talking about key strength. Okay, sometimes we argue also what key strength we to use, 2048 or what. Okay, depending on information classification, we have some degree of risk ranking and what the right control, what right setting to meet as well. So my answer is number one, product team or technical team we propose, security team we review, so that we align with policies, with standard best practice. What's the right value to implement? Then we sign off as a security baseline.
Architect determine the enterprise architecture, right?
Yes.
For example, the key length should be how much?
Yes.
Those will be under the architect. enterprise architecture.
Architect, we review those and we produce, we gazette it as a standard for everybody to follow. Any other views? Okay. That's architect question. Nobody has that. You have different views? That I want to understand better, right?
I just want to understand,
Mm.
because there's not a lot of organizations that have security architect in place.
Mm.
I want to see the relevance. I'm not saying that you're not relevant.
Okay.
I want to see understand the relevance of a security architect as opposed to a good security team. How? Okay, take one of the negara. You have since you're from negara.
Mm.
You have a very good security team, and you have also a security architect. So I understand you complement each other.
Yes.
But for an organization, for just a normal organization, do you actually really need a security architect, or this security team is suffice?
Like I start just now. Architect is a function rather than a people. If you're playing that role today, for example, you are the network engineer today, right? You are reviewing your security parameters. You're reviewing your configuration of your firewall, for example, or your routers. Surely you have a security configuration there to set up. So what base you decide to use that?
Because you mentioned just now,
Yeah.
there is a team to actually to approve.
Okay.
This is my opinion lah.
Mm.
Basically, for a company to have an architect is depend on the company lah. On apa, does they really need architect or not? For a company that have architect, normally they will work on the blueprint. For example, they will lay down a 5 years roadmap. Itu, for example, they try to avoid a situation whereby you have multiple technology, multiple product, so you will waste on what you call, on manpower, on training, you will be disadvantaged during nego. So that's why you have an architect. So you have a proper 5 years roadmap. For example, you have tier 1 punya control, tier 2
Yes.
control, and then you decide on this certain product.
Yes.
So
That is
basically,
considered a solution architect, kan? I'm referring to security architect.
sama lah. Pokok security.
Security architect, they focus on like 4 layers I mentioned just now: data protection, infrastructure architect, security architect, and then the application security architect. Yes, they work with their infra colleague, they work with their developer colleague, because these people sometimes they do not know what the right security things that they need to embed or to define their systems. So they have to approach people who have a knowledge, especially knowledge on the business, knowledge of standards, knowledge of law. Sometimes they have to follow. So it depends. If you're a network engineer, you have all this knowledge, you are already embedded in as a security function within you. Yeah. But if you have a large entity, right, they have a dedicated team to help engineers, to help the developers to fulfill their security needs, so that we can give a requirements. So in my practice, I have a long list, security architect list. The moment they have a solution, they come and approach me. Then start asking what you want to do, e-commerce or IoT, whatnot. Then let's talk about security. Yeah.
So basically you are translating the business requirement into technical requirement.
Yes. That's why I was looking for my chart. Tak ada sini. Tak ada yang ada arrow. Dia ada satu. Okay, never mind. Okay, actually I have one slide, I don't know what happened, talking about linkages between business requirement to enterprise architect to solution architect. From solution architect spin off into infra architect, security architect and all that. It's a building block. It's a building block. If you're doing today, never mind, it's okay already. But I'm talking about specialization, I'm talking about large outfits that they need to have all this so-called knowledge in one central place that they can refer to. There was some banks start doing that.
One BAU guy, operation guy, to address architecture and framework issue.
Because architect normally they sit in the system development. Sometimes they can even do the RFI. Example, when we put tender, this my security requirement, please. So we start from that. So in work environment today, the ideal state we start from RFI, RFP, then solution and designing. So depend architect, they have a lead architect or lead, junior architect or middle level architect and lead architects. So depend on your specialization. So in the bank today, we have those so-called specializations, and lead architect do the balancing act normally, right? So this is what we're talking just now. Sometimes your design, you may not have the control that you want, then you have to find the mitigation control, where you sign off, you come ask auditor to come, or you ask risk management to come, can I do this way or not? Because you will not be protecting the business ideally, right? Okay, so then we sign off, we develop, then the security testing will come. Yeah. So in our team, we have a Thahrizi team to go and do the security testing to the system. Then they identify the vulnerability area. Right, so next. So normally, the engagement, the deliverables that we show our values to be an architect. First, we come up with a security requirement during RFI, RFP, technical architecture reviews, solution recovery, solution requirement or business requirement specifications. And we couple with that with a risk assessment in terms of threat modeling, security requirements, and whatever mitigation or exemption that they need. Then we validate this through security sign-off whenever the project team start doing UAT, and we validate further with the VAPT or security testing or secure coding to validate the security requirement that is spelled out, fully addressed by developers. Right. So in a nutshell, so go back to the title, I don't know if it's the right title, Journey to the Enchanted Forest. These are the forests our CISO taught, and these are one of the architects' thinking. You could be doing the network security architect, cloud security architect, but in essence, if you are aiming for bigger role, actually you are architecting the entire cybersecurity functions. So define your path, where you want to go next 3 years, don't stay there too long, progress. Okay, it comes with the value and the money as well. Right. Okay, so any question? That's my last slide. Right, so hopefully this is the first attempt so that we can introduce cyber architect topic in the RawSec. Yeah.
Any question?
There is a
Of course.
can you can go anywhere. Not everybody can fly.
Yes, can. I optimistic. Depend, you know the terrain, you know the path. That's it. Macam you hack lah, right? You must know open port, right? You must know binary IOC before you hack also. Reconnaissance, right? You need to know all this. Then you can go next step. Again, if you want attempt to go CISO, CISO is political role also, right? Okay. That's the tough part. You need to hack people also. You need to hack people when you are CISO. Yes. Social engineering very high there. NLP, political, you need to use all that techniques. All right. Any question?
Any question?
Okay. Right. Thank you. Ada.
Bagi ni tak guna.
Bagi. Ha?
I think I would like to thank Mr. Kamarul Zaman. So I would like to ask Mr. Abu, our co-founder, another co-founder, Gezek, to give a memento of appreciation to Mr. Gezek. Thank you, Mr. Gezek. He's a truly architect. He's not just architecting cybersecurity. He also architecting house and building. Seriously. Okay.
Pian, nak ke? Okay. Pian is from Asia. Thank you for flying from Sepang. So where do you actually land? Pian, where do you land? You took Airbus or Boeing? Okay, last but not least, our last speaker for today, Miss Daisy. She flew in from Australia, touched down yesterday. Yesterday? Huh? 2 days ago. Okay. How's the weather? How's Malaysia weather? I believe you don't face haze in Australia. Okay. Miss Daisy is basically, she's Malaysian. From Sarawak. Sarawak? Yeah. From Miri, but she got lucky. Married an Australian guy, and now she's. Oh no, sorry. Okay, sorry. Now she's residing in Australia now, and flew in directly from Australia just to support RawSec. Give a round of applause to her. Thank you very much, Daisy. Okay, are you ready? Tadi tag. Tak ni, this one. You don't have ni eh? Oh, jap. Apa kata? USB-C ada? Do you have USB-C? Ada. Alienware aku. Apa dia? Boleh?